post ceremony will begin in a few minutes once visitors have arrived in the commemorative area from the galleries. The commemorative cards on wreaths and floral tributes will be catalogued and archived by the memorial and kept in perpetuity. The service will be broadcast live via webcam onto the Australian War Memorial's website. Please feel free to take photographs or film the service, and we encourage you to post your photos on the memorial's Facebook page or Flickr. To maintain the dignity of the service, we ask that visitors be respectful and quiet throughout the ceremony. In particular, please remain still during the reading and whilst the bugler plays the last post. Where appropriate, we ask that visitors remove their hats for the national anthem, the reading of the ode and the playing of the last post. We would also appreciate if parents could closely supervise their small children. And should you have a mobile phone, could I ask you to switch it off or turn it to silent? Finally, for your safety and that of others, please do not sit on any of the stonework or the ledges. Thank you. Good evening, visitors. Welcome to the Australian War Memorial's last post ceremony. My name is Richard Cruz, and joining us today from the Australian Army is Major John Vantoff. We welcome the veterans who have served, those that are still serving, and the families that support them. Today we warmly welcome the family of Private William John Armstrong, whose story will be read shortly. Family will be laying tributes at the base of the Pool of Reflection. We're also honoured to welcome the delegation of senior United States Army officers, including Lieutenant General James Barclay III, Deputy Chief of Staff, who will also be laying a wreath. Major General William Hicks, Deputy Director, Chief of Staff, Army Capabilities Integration Centre. Major General Robert Dice, Director, Force Development. Major General Michael Williamson, Assistant Deputy of Acquisition and Systems Management, Office of the Assistant Secretary of the Army, Acquisition, Logistics and Technology. And the Senior Accompany Officer, Major General Jeff Singleman, Head Modernisation and Strategic Planning, Australian Army. We also acknowledge the members of the RSL and Services Clubs who are watching the broadcast of this ceremony around Australia. And this evening we're also joined by visitors who'll be laying wreaths. Could I ask you to please stand and join in singing the national anthem? Bean landed with the Australian troops on Gallipoli and stayed with them at the front through to the end of the war. The idea of this national memorial and museum came to him at Pozières, France, in the depths of the bloody fighting of 1916. Bean's idea was that this would be a place where families, friends and Australians could mourn their loved ones buried in faraway places. It would also be a place that could help all Australians understand what these men and women had endured and what they had done for us. the more than 102,000 men and women who have given their lives for us in war and other operations over more than a century. But first we present a lament, flowers of the forest. Wreaths or floral tributes will now be laid at the base of the Pool of Reflection.
Today we remember and pay tribute to Pte William John Armstrong of the 24th Battalion, who was killed in action in France in the First World War. William Armstrong was born in 1893, one of three children of Donald and Miriam Armstrong of Mansfield in Victoria. After his schooling in Mansfield, Armstrong trained as a school teacher and taught at Preston State School and others in the Wangaratta district in the years before the war. He enlisted in the AIF at Castlemaine in October 1916 and underwent a period of training at the Royal Park in Melbourne as reinforcement for the 23rd Battalion. He left Australia in November, headed for the training camps in England. Armstrong did not arrive in France until November 1917, whereupon he was transferred to the 24th Battalion to reinforce losses the battalion had suffered during the 3rd Ypres campaign. Though Armstrong arrived too late to fight at Passchendaele, he was with the battalion when it blunted the German advance towards the vital rail link junction at Hazelbrook during the German Spring Offensive in April 1918. With the tide turned in the Allies' favour, they too were on the offensive, and Armstrong took part in the fighting at Hamel and at Amiens in July and August, helping to push the German army back towards the Hindenburg Line. On the 31st of August 1918, as the 24th Battalion prepared to take part in the 2nd Division's assault on Mont Saint Quentin, German artillery bombarded the Australian positions, causing a number of casualties. A chance shell landed in the 24th Battalion trenches near the village of Clary, killing approximately 10 men. Among those killed was Private William Armstrong, who was just 24 years old when he died. He was buried with his comrades in a communal grave inside the trench, and after the war was reinterred at Perron Communal Cemetery Extension in France. A small notice of his death appeared in the Wangaratta Chronicle, describing as a fine young fellow who had many friends in the district. William Armstrong is listed on the Roll of Honour on my right, along with more than 60,000 others from the First World War. His photograph is displayed today beside the Pool of Reflection. This is but one of the many stories of courage and sacrifice told here at the Australian War Memorial. We now remember Private William John Armstrong and all of those Australians who have given their lives in the service of our nation. They shall not grow old, as we that are left grow old. Age shall not weary them, nor the years condemn. At the going down of the sun, and in the morning, we will remember them.
We remember them.